I help a lot of people buy new construction homes in the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area. In fact, just closed on one this morning. But here's the thing, when you're going through the new construction process, not everything is pretty, right? Not everything goes exactly how you want it. So you might be looking at building a home with Drees Homes or Fischer Homes, Maronda, Horton, or Arlinghaus builders. What I want to do today is give you the real inside scoop, the things that you need to know before you buy a new construction home. Let's get into it. All right, number one, don't go to the builder without a real estate agent first. Now, shameless plug right off the bat, but here's the thing. If you go to the builder first, or if you go to their website and fill out a form, they're not gonna pay a commission for a real estate agent like us at Team Sztanyo. If you come to us first and allow us to go to the builder, then we can represent you as your agent. If anything weird comes up throughout the process, we're gonna fight for you, and the builder is gonna pay our commission. But if you walk into that model home first, or if you fill out a form online first, they're gonna say, hey, no, we procure this lead. We don't wanna pay the real estate agent. Now, if you've done that already, you can still reach out to us. There are some kind of secret workarounds. We can help you out with that. And it really depends on who the builder is. But that's my number one tip, is reach out to the real estate agent first so we can help guide you through the process, and the builder will pay our commission so it doesn't cost you a thing. All right, tip number two you need to know is the contract is written for the builder, not for you. So if you buy a resale home in Northern Kentucky or Cincinnati, you're using the Cincinnati or Northern Kentucky MLS contract, and that's a little bit more in your favor. But when you're working with a builder, whether it's Drees or Fischer Homes or any of these production builders, you're using their contract for the purchase. So if you have to back out, let's say you're relocating, or let's say financing doesn't work out. In some areas you're protected, but in some areas, if you back out, you can lose your earnest money. In fact, some of the ways the contracts are written is they can go after you for a certain percentage of the sale price. So if you want help walking through the contract, again, that's a really good reason why you want to reach out to a real estate agent first, so that before you sign on the dotted line with the builder, you understand that contract thoroughly. All right, third thing you need to know before you buy a new construction home. You see this home behind me. It's beautiful. It's almost done. But the third thing you need to know is that warranty work when it comes to new construction is not always smooth. Look, I've got a ton of respect for Drees Homes, Fischer Homes, Maronda Homes, Horton. These guys crank out a ton of homes a year, but guess what? When you're doing that much production, some of the things are gonna slip through the cracks, and you shouldn't have to pay for that. If you go online and you look at reviews of builders, typically what you're seeing is not on the build process, it's people trying to get something done with the warranty process on the back end. And I'm not gonna lie, this can happen. The fact that, builders wanna make the sale, and once they close the deal with you, they might not give you as much attention on the back end when it comes to the warranty items. And it is a little bit harder for you to prove what was them, what was you, and it can get frustrating, it can get annoying. A lot of the builders do a good job, but you just need to know before you build a new home, this might not be as smooth as a process as you might think. It's not like, hey, come fix this, and they come fix it the next day. This is another reason, I'm gonna keep harping on this, why I've done this with many clients of mine where we're helping them after the build. If something went wrong, we've had a grading issue on a condo property before in Alexandria, Kentucky, and I showed up to meeting after meeting and say, hey guys, you need to make this right. We were working with the HOA, we were working with the builder, and I don't want my buyer to pay for this. This could be long-term damage to their foundation and their property. You've got to make this right. It's just another reason why you should have a real estate agent before you go new construction. All right, tip number 4, things that you need to know before you buy a new construction home. Things can and do go wrong often when it comes to new construction. You look at this house behind me, it's beautiful. Looks pretty on the outside, looks pretty in the photos. You wanna move right in. I'll give you a real life example of the property we closed on today. Buyer was coming in from out of town, from Arizona. He's flying in multiple times. We found a great lot for them, found a great price for them on a new home. Week before the closing, we do a new home orientation with the builder. We walk into the basement and there's a puddle of water, a large puddle of water in the basement. It's a new construction home. We're like, hey, what is going on? Can I trust this basement? What happened? Turns out there's a big storm the weekend before. We had a lot of rain. The sump pump failed because the power went out and there was water in the basement. Well, as you can imagine, my buyer was not happy with this. I wasn't happy about it for him, but then I went to bat for him. We kind of went to bat together, like we tag teamed it, right? Which is like, hey, builder, you need to make this right. And to their credit, they did. Brand new sump pump went in. They even there was some water that was standing on the steps a little bit. They came in and did mold mitigation. I don't know if there was fully mold on those steps or not, but they came in and did it. And now they do have that 1-year home warranty. Now I'm coaching my buyer through the home buying process to say, hey, look, we're in June now. You might not fully know until if this sump pump's working until the next heavy rain season in April or May. But again, you kind of need to know this up front. Sometimes, I'm giving you all the horror stories, I guess. Sometimes these sales go fine and the home is fine, but you need to know it's a home just like any other home. And homes have problems, and homes are built by people, and people make mistakes, and materials can fail, and all this stuff. So it is new construction, but things can go wrong. You just need to keep that in your mindset. All right, next one, this one gets people all the time. You need to know what's included in the sale versus what is an upgrade. All the time I have clients who walk into that model home and you see those beautiful countertops, you see those tray ceilings, in the primary bedroom, you see the upgraded lighting, you see that finished basement, and you think it's all included in the base price. It is not included in the base price. That could easily be $50, $60, $70, $80, $100,000 of upgrades, depending on what level of home you're buying. So if you guys watched my channel before, you see me walk through a lot of different model homes by Fischer Homes, by Drees Homes. They are beautiful. What you want to know is, what should you buy now? What should you maybe wait for later that you could get done cheaper if you bring in your own contractor, versus what's cheaper to have the builder done themselves? Another important thing is to know where do they get their margins? One of the things we try to do at Team Sztanyo is work with sales counselors who are brutally honest with you, who will give you the best deal and say, hey, maybe you should do this and maybe you should not do that. One of the things we do is sit in with you on that selections, particularly when you're doing the structure of the home, and say, hey, here's where that rough-in in the basement could pay off for you down the road, because you could finish this off and have a bathroom, or you could have this window well in the basement and make it a 5-bedroom instead of a 4-bedroom. Those are the things that can end up putting thousands of dollars back in your pocket if you go to sell it one day in the future. All right, next on the list is you need to have your own inspection done. I'm gonna say it again, just because it is new does not mean that it is perfect, okay? I highly recommend that you get your own third-party inspector to come check out the house at 2 specific times. Number 1, the pre-drywall inspection. So before they wrap everything in terms of the framing of the house, in terms of the electric and the plumbing, I recommend that you have your own inspector come out and take a look at everything. Now, normally they're not gonna find too many things, but you'll be surprised. Again, I just had another client of mine who's buying a new home, had their inspector come out, looked up in one of the pictures, and we saw through the attic sunlight. There was a space between the siding and the attic. We're like, hey, you need to fix this. And are you gonna get up on the roof and check what's going on? No, hire someone. It's worth the extra $1,000, $500 or so to get it done at the pre-drywall inspection, $500 or so to do it again right before the home closes. Now, typically, depends on the builder here. Fischer Homes allows you to do one of these inspections. What I would recommend in that scenario is get it done at the pre-drywall inspection, again, before all the walls get wrapped up. And then since you have that 1-year warranty with them, you can close and then have another inspection later, because you're covered by that 1-year warranty. If anything pops up in that inspection after you close, you can give that to the warranty department and have them cover that when the time comes. So remember, the inspectors that are, to get occupancy, they work for the city, the county, or the builder themselves. They don't necessarily work for you. I strongly recommend that you hire your own inspector, and we've got some great partners to help you out in that space. All right, lastly, number 7 is that builder estimates and timelines for when your home will close are just that. They're just estimates. Now, typically what they'll say around here is maybe 6 to 8 months, or they'll give you a time frame from when they get the permit or when they break ground. And I've seen homes go longer. Certainly that can happen because of material delays or because of weather delays, especially if you're building through the winter or the rainy season in the spring. I've also seen it the other way around, where they come in shorter. I had a client who they needed to sell their home and they were gonna buy their new home up in Shaker Run, and they were told about 6 months. That Fischer ended up saying, hey, we're gonna be done in about 4. And they're like, oh my gosh, we gotta get our house ready to sell. Now, in that scenario, we were able to price their home correctly, strategize with them, get their home sold quickly, so they had those funds and they could move right into the new house, which was great. But my point is, you need to be flexible here. The timelines can change. They can be a little bit on the longer end. They can be on the shorter end. Usually they're gonna land about where they say, but you need to set yourself up in such a way where you can be flexible with the timing of your move. All right, guys, look, I'm not trying to scare you off. I'm just trying to let you know that building a new home might not all be sunshine and roses. Things can definitely go wrong. But on the flip side of that, it can also be a blast, and you get to build and design your dream home, which is a lot of fun. There are a lot of exciting moments. It is really fun to see something be just a piece of dirt and then turn into the home for your family. And I love helping people do that. The reason I'm doing this video is we've helped dozens and dozens and dozens of people, whether they're here locally and building a new home or they're moving into the area and they want that new construction home. We've seen a lot. And so I've just hit on a few things in this video, but there's a lot more we can talk about. If you want to talk about that, reach out to us first. Again, it's not going to cost you a thing. We can have a consultation, talk about what your family's needs are. You can email us directly, info@teamsztanyo.com, or you can call or text us at 513-813-6293. And as a reminder, if you reach out to us first and then we go to the builder working together, they're going to pay for our commission, so it won't cost you guys a thing. Hey, Sztanyo, appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.